and you've got to change the way they're playing. It's just not working.
Steve, if I was the board, I'd be looking at, Nuno Espirito, what he's done, what he did at Forest. You're surely thinking, if there's anyone out there, that's the guy who can bring a stability to a team, whether it's start playing on the counter-attack and just be hard to beat.
Right. Can I just say this, though, right? Steve, I know you mentioned Nuno, right? And I get it, because he's done a really good job at Nottingham Forest, but you wanted to get away from pragmatic football.
You're going to say about Moyes, aren't you?
And you're going back to a David Moyes style.
Yeah, you are. You're right. I was going to say the same thing, but I just think, like Jermaine said, he is Premier ready. He's proven he can do it, and I think we've got to go back to that, because who else out there is going to get us playing the way we ain't got the players to play. We want to play.
But you think though, he wasn't that. I know we talk about Moyes' style of football. Nuno's weren't that bad. You did watch Forest, and you did think, do you know, they're playing quite good.
But they have a system, right?
Yeah, they have a system, right?
But they also had pace, to me. Like we haven't got that. Like in Nuno's system, they've got pace. Adoy, Lango, we had when he was there. Like they had pace. We ain't got that. So has he got the players? I don't know.
I think you've probably got more legs in midfield than West Ham. Honestly, like seriously, I can't believe what has happened to the midfield.
No, that's it, and that's the problem. Every West Ham fan over the ground everyone says the same thing. Everyone says the same thing. No legs in midfield. Every supporter you talk to.
You're not going to dominate midfield if you've got James Ward-Prowse in there. No. He's great set piece.
And to be fair, he didn't have a bad game today. I know he's one of his biggest critics, but he weren't. At least he was trying. Second half, he seemed to have a bit of a second win, but no, you're right. He's not. He's championship probably at best. So.
Steve, basically, you phoned up because I reeled you in, and you pretty much agreed with me.
I did. I know. I'm just trying not to swear, but I'd agree with you, so I couldn't. So yeah, well done.
Steve, top man, mate. See you later. Thanks for phoning in.
Mate,
phone us again.
Steve's had a bad week if he's agreeing with you.
No, everyone
has had a bad
You're a West Ham fan and you're agreeing with me. You know it's bad. You know it's bad. Let's go to Richard. He's a Nottingham Forest fan. Rich?
How you doing, boys? All right?
I'm all right, Rich.
How are you doing, Rich?
How's Big Ange doing?
Ange Ball.
Well, you can see how Big Ange is doing. He's blooming useless. Ange Foster No Clue is what we call him.
Oh, no, don't start that after 3 games. I can't. I've got trauma from last season.
Talk about 2 steps backwards, 3 steps forward, 2 steps backwards. Bringing Ange in, I just can't understand the appointment, boys. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, it was a weird one. Getting rid of Nuno, even if you're not seeing eye to eye, sometimes you just got to bite your lip and, do what's best for the club, regardless of what kind of style you want to play. So getting rid of him.
That's crazy.
Introducing Grammarly, like you've never seen before. Your all-in-one writing essential. Today, we're checking out Proofreader, a gem of a tool for notes, proposals, emails, and everything in between. Proofreader goes beyond just spelling and grammar. It helps elevate your writing by refining structure, clarifying your main point, and improving overall flow and logic.
Jeez.
That is bananas.
Rich, you got to stick with him, though, for now.
I just can't believe that when they got rid of Nuno, and look, I don't like the way Nuno handled it personally. I love what he did for us. I think he's a great guy, but I think there's certain things that happen behind closed doors that should stay behind closed doors, and it did feel a little bit like he engineered his outing, and a few of us feel that way. But, that said, there was talk of Brendan Rodgers, Jose Mourinho, some big names, experienced managers, and then Ange. And when my mate said to me, Ange is front runner for this, I thought he was having me on. I couldn't believe it.
No.
Yeah, you usually pick
Right.
managers who you think, okay, they've done well in the Premier League, or we can see their style would work at Nottingham Forest, like a slot kind of same kind of system and style of Liverpool. So it was an easy transition. But you've gone for a manager who finished 17th, lost 22 games last season. What on what basis?
bbc.co.uk/5live.
Real head scratcher.
Being a fellow Nottingham lad, I do feel sorry for Forest. You know,
Could be a long
This
season.
is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Christmas, boys.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform if you're inside the UK. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform if you're inside the UK. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform if you're inside the UK. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform if you're inside the UK. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live. This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports
Helped backwards to goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen, who's angling one out to this left wing. Chelsea looking very short of ideas. Understandable when you're down to 10, but they have struggled really to string a pass together. And it doesn't bode well for the length of time they've got to endure this game. Cucurella down on the deck. He's gesturing that he's been charged into. I'm not sure the referee, Peter Banks, is interested.
No, he's tried to play a game there. He's tried to get a player sent off just by saying his arms hit him in the head. And he's caused that injury himself by trying to make a situation. Very, very fortunate he never injured himself there. What he tried to do there, Cucurella, very poor. And now he wants to talk to the referee about getting elbowed in the face. Hopefully Reece James is standing next to him to tell him to stop being silly.
Took off running, Cucurella ran into Mazraoui as he jumped for the ball, went down clutching his face, but nothing doing for the referee. More appearances than any Chelsea player last season for Cucurella. Also twatted up 7 goals for Chelsea, a career best, including that one I mentioned against Manchester United. 25 minutes gone in this one. Matt Drabble, Paul Parker, you're listening to Premier League Live wherever in the world you're tuning in from. A delight to have you along for the game. Manchester United 1, Chelsea 0 at the moment. Robert Sanchez's early red card, the talking point, and then Bruno Fernandes scoring 15 minutes in from close range. Chelsea on the ropes, not looking like getting off them anytime soon. United get it down, play quickly to Mazraoui. Midway inside Chelsea territory, the right wing back. Casemiro tries to chip one over the top to Ahmad. James can read it and steer it back to the arms of the green-shirted goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen. Jorgensen will take his time. Rolls it to his feet, waits for United to come and press him. Well, waiting for an overload to show itself. You're not going to have an overload with 10 men, and Chelsea have put themselves under undue pressure. Chalobah into João Pedro. Wonderful spin from him, though, to get them out of that pressure. Nowhere for him to go. Wide left for Cucurella. A perfect example there of what you were talking about earlier, Paul. No attacking options for João Pedro to pass to.
That is the big problem. They can have as much ball at the back as they want, but you've lost three of your threats.
Eventually, Chelsea just have to hit it long, but Luke Shaw does them a favour by prodding it straight out of play. Chelsea throw 15 yards shy of the halfway line. Fofana will let it bounce and allow Reece James to take it. Rain showing little sign of relenting. Must feel like it's pouring for Chelsea. Everything going against them at the moment. James. Andre Santos, first time ball, pops it off to João Pedro. Finds Reece James, one touch passing for Chelsea. Making the best of a bad situation at the moment. Caicedo carrying it over halfway.
This is their best passage of play in the game so far, Chelsea.
Chalobah opening up his stride, out to Cucurella. Caicedo, Cucurella again. Content just to keep the ball, the Blues. Caicedo eventually digs out a long diagonal, but Dorgu reads it easily. And United can start again with skipper Bruno Fernandes. Ahmad darts into the corner. Fernandes finds him. Fofana must lunge in. Good tackle made by Wesley Fofana. Halting United's progress. They'll have to settle for a throw.
Great challenge it was as well. Had to make it. Once he decided he was going for that ball, he had to make that and not make any contact, because he would have been in serious trouble.
Earlier on in the day, Liverpool winning the Merseyside derby 2-1. It finished Brighton 2, Tottenham 2. Burnley 1, Forest 1. West Ham United 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Wolves 1, Leeds 3. United back on it with Mazraoui. Cunha on the bench today. It was Cucurella and Mbeumo getting tangled up on the near side. Cucurella loves the role of pantomime villain for club and country.
He's not big enough to be a villain, is he, really? But he goes around trying to play like a mini little hard man, to be perfectly honest, because he's hit him off the ball. There was no need for him to do that.
And he's given Manchester United a free kick on this right flank. A few yards in from the touchline. 28.5 minutes gone. United with another set piece. The quality of delivery, the quality of set pieces so far has been good for Manchester United. Fernandes over it, rolls it back to Mbeumo, who will dribble it into the middle, then swing it in left-footed straight into Jorgensen's arms. Disappointed oohs and ahs come from the home crowd. Meanwhile, Enzo Fernandez has gone down off the ball and is infuriated by something. Chelsea get a free kick. Well, as Jorgensen was waiting to find out what he was going to do with that ball, Luke Shaw has just put an arm across Enzo Fernandez.
Laziness on Luke Shaw's part, to be perfectly honest. And they're looking for that. He's fortunate he didn't get a yellow card for that.
Chelsea will be as keen to even the numbers on the pitch as they will be to even the scoreline. Certainly given the confidence issues at United at the moment, approaching the half-hour mark. United back in possession with Bayindir, whose long ball forward started off all this drama. Was flicked on by Šeško. Got Sanchez sent off. Maguire puts his foot on the ball. Chelsea don't really have the numbers to come out and close him down.
And to be honest, the fans wanted... He's had to play that ball quicker, Harry Maguire. The fans want the tempo kept, and he's just put his foot in it, you know, like he's got all day on it. Can't afford just to sit back on it. There's a way of playing and not going overboard, but you still have to play at a decent tempo.
Luke Shaw invitingly threading one through for Ahmad to chase, and Fofana does very well again. They could tell they missed him, Chelsea. Wesley Fofana, when he was out injured. They've been playing the centre-back pairing of Tosin and Chalobah that have come under criticism this season. Fofana looks just a step above those two, perhaps.
Well, he's got that change of pace as well. That's what he's got, and we saw that there quite easy from the other two. Haven't got it. They did try at one point. They tried to make these two as going to be this good centre-halves, maybe the best partnership in the Premier League. But I never thought they were, to be honest. They weren't anywhere near close being as a good pairing, a partnership that's going to compete for the league.
Space here for Matthijs de Ligt. Might shoot, instead tries to chip one into the penalty area. Will get another go at it, de Ligt. Finds Fernandez. Fernandez volleys a pass out to Mazraoui, right wing. Up against Cucurella. De Ligt's first time delivery. Tosin nods away, only as far as Luke Shaw, though, 30 yards out. Dorgu tussling with James, and James wins that battle. United throw, midway inside Chelsea territory. That's becoming a familiar theme. No outlet for the Blues thus far. Mazraoui and Burmo one-on-one with Cucurella if he fancies it, and it looks like he does. In goes the cross. Šeško the target. João Pedro can carry it away. He's done very well, João Pedro, juggling it over the head of de Ligt. Gone down as if he's been kicked. Peter Banks was right there and showed no interest, and United will continue.
Great bit of skill as well by João Pedro. Wonderful skill, and the ball was just nicked off his toe. It maybe deserved a little bit more, but to try and nick a foul out of it, that was a little bit too much.
Looks like João Pedro's confidence levels have just risen from that Club World Cup campaign he had in the summer. Was always highly rated at Brighton, but moving to a club like Chelsea and delivering the way he did in his first 2-3 games seems to have just elevated him to another level. We saw that there, doing keepy-ups and then flicked it over the head of de Ligt when he went to close him down. In the end, didn't get the free kick he was looking for. You're listening to Premier League Live. Sat next to me is Paul Parker, former England World Cup fullback at Italia 90, former Manchester United trophy winner. United stroking it around the back right now with Harry Maguire. Swept wide to the left for Luke Shaw. Not in a rush, the home side. De Ligt closed down by Andre Santos. Over the top, Fernandez the target. Caicedo was strong. Still Fernandez emerges with it. Brian and Burmo into the channel for Ahmad. He snuck in behind the Chelsea back line. No one's found him. To the byline goes Ahmad. Up against Tosin. Not enough room to try what he attempted. And although Casemiro heads it into the back of the net, the ball had already crossed the touchline.
Had to do that early, Ahmad. He got there. It's a bit like how the goal come about. You just get in the area to cross it. Don't worry about thinking what you can. Just worry about getting the ball into a decent area for someone to attack. And Ahmad never done that. Never done it. A poor ball with your weaker foot. I tell you what, just do it. And if people run him, but you try and make it perfect. There's too many people in and around the ball, or you could end up taking it out of play as Ahmad done.
Ahmad, one of the few bright sparks last season for Manchester United. 11 goals, including that hat-trick against Southampton. A memorable goal against Liverpool as well. Long from Philip Jorgensen. Maguire heads it back to where it came from. We'll test Trevor Chalobah this. Didn't look wholly comfortable, but then recovered excellently after letting it bounce. Jorgensen will be chased down by Šeško. Quickly out the feet of Danish goalkeeper Jorgensen. Up toward Reece James. Dorgu held him off. Fofana on the loose ball. Over halfway to João Pedro. Finally some space for Chelsea. Cucurella to his left, Andres Santos to his right. João Pedro will do it alone into the penalty area, down under challenge. Casts a look towards referee Peter Banks. No penalty, and Mbeumo and Mazraoui will combine brilliantly up this right-hand side. Šeško kills it dead on the chest. Casemiro doing his best to join in. Instead it's left to Ahmad. Checks back right-footed, squared out to Mbeumo. And by the time United have worked it, Chelsea red shirts are back. And Mazraoui hits it into the advertising hoardings. They just took too long, United. They had the chance, they didn't take it.
It was overcooked, what they'd done. It was absolutely fantastic. And the ball gets to Šeško, and there was opportunities, but he never hit. The one was to his right, and he never took that opportunity to give it. And Ahmad, in the end, takes far too long on it.
Now, we're seeing a replay of that João Pedro jinking and jiving run into the penalty area. He steps past Mazraoui, the leg comes out. It looks like Mazraoui got a good touch on the ball there. Enzo Maresca's furious. Up the other end, it was Mbeumo and Mazraoui combining brilliantly to work space for Šeško. One of the more entertaining scenes of the match was Casemiro doing his best from midfield, chugging with everything he had to join in on that attack and still getting there 5 seconds too late at a full sprint.
It's all about the taking part.
Not perhaps quite as fresh as he once was, Casemiro. Brazilian midfielder. 10 to go till half-time. He's headed it to Fernandes there. United holding on to this lead, but getting a couple of warning signs. Bryan Mbeumo. Mazraoui over the top. Šeško chasing. Jorgensen not sure. Just pops it over the top of Tosin's head, but straight to Mbeumo. Here's Mbeumo threading one through to Šeško. He was on his heels. Fofana's there again. Looks like it's going to be a corner kick from Manchester United. And Šeško has made some good runs. He's gone to some good areas. United yet to find him in a position where he can threaten. They will have a corner kick here. He might fancy his chances of getting his head on this one. 55 goals across his last 3 seasons for Leipzig and Salzburg combined. Benjamin Šeško had a miserable first start at Manchester City where he didn't have a touch in the City penalty area. Already looks more promising today with a bit more space. When Mbeumo takes the corner kick short, works the right corner of the penalty area. Mazraoui's cross, good area. Dorgu back across goal. Where will it land? Up in the air from Reece James. Maguire underneath it, headed across to Casemiro. And United have a second. And it's oh so similar to the first. Headed across the 6-yard box. And Casemiro nods it home. Still life in him yet. It's United 2, Chelsea 0. And Casemiro has the Red Devils second.
Well, I think we have to, if we look at this at the moment, I think we could be saying game over because Chelsea have lost their heart. They have lost it. And I'm putting a little bit of that down to the managerial decisions after a sending off. It was poor, we have to say, from Sanchez. Poor that the 2 centre-halves allowed the ball to go straight down the middle off a flick on it. It was so amateurish that. But for the manager to go and do what he done, but we have to look at the goal, and it's quite simple. The ball, and again, box from Mazraoui, straight to the head of Dorgu again.
It's a hapless clearance from Reece James.
It was
straight
terrible.
Up in the air.
It was naive. It just wasn't right.
Some afters once that goal hit the back of the net. But Reece James, attempting to volley that clear from inside his 6-yard box, has sent it almost into orbit. It's coming down with snow on it. And in the end, Maguire positioned himself to nod it through to Casemiro, who could nod home. Here's what's happened after the goal. Luke Shaw and Enzo Fernandez getting acquainted. Fernandez judging that Shaw's just bumped him on his way back over the halfway line. Much ado about nothing, really.
I mean, that's Enzo Fernandez, Matt. That's what he'll go and do. He's just intimidation. There's no need for Luke Shaw to get involved, to be perfectly honest. You step away and you let the referees deal with it.
But where did the goal come from? Another good cross by Mazraoui. He puts it right onto the head of Dorgu. Dorgu heads it down, and Casemiro with the tap-in after Reece James's hopeless clearance, straight up in the air from the edge of his 6-yard box. And from then on, it was always going to be carnage that suited Manchester United. They got bodies around Jorgensen, who couldn't deal with it. And Casemiro with a simple nod in from the right-hand side of the 6-yard box. Past Sprawling Jorgensen in the Chelsea goal. And Chelsea now perhaps will just be starting to rue, you know their fans are, the decision to pull off 3 of their 4 attacking players today.
It's just absolutely just, I can't figure out what he's trying to do. It's just trying to be far.
Meanwhile, Ahmad's robbed Fofana of the ball. Ahmad, left channel, up it goes, and Burmo waiting. Might land at the feet of Mazraoui. Chelsea will break with Cucurella. Sorry to interrupt,
No,
Paul.
you're fine. You had to do that at the time. Everything, it's just moving too quickly at this moment in time. It's sheer naivety and just poor from Chelsea. They're not showing anything at all in this game. I'd expect a little bit of resilience, fight, a little bit of controlled aggression, but they haven't got that. Chelsea, they're in disarray at this moment in time. The manager has caused them virtually almost to panic stations. I haven't seen him come down to the front of the bench to try and organise it too often. He's not doing anything. When he is there, he's just standing there, just watching.
Do you think at times Maresca shows his relatively the immaturity of his managerial career? He's 45 years of age. He's not a kid, but he's only been a senior manager really since 2023 when he left the City assistant role. Do you think that shows at times still?
I think that has shown. It happened last season when things at Chelsea going well, when he decided to change the role of Cole Palmer, and it completely disrupted Chelsea, really changed the dimensions of the way they played, and it cost them points. Taking off Cole Palmer was a poor... I don't know what he was looking to get from not having your key playmaker on the field of play when you're losing 1-0 with 10 men.
The voice you just heard was that of Paul Parker, former Manchester United defender. If you're just joining us here on Premier League Live, well, where have you been? A red card, 2 goals, and it's Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. João Pedro still trying to do it all on his own and not doing a bad job of it, to be honest. Fernandes has to hold him down. Chelsea free kick, and João Pedro on a one-man mission, the only attacking player left on the pitch. And you have to say, he's putting up a good fight.
Oh, he's having a good fight. You just worry now, just with people like João Pedro, who has got a short fuse. The more this game goes further and further away from his team, how much is he going to lose his head? They just need to calm it down. United players have to keep calm as well, not get drawn into anything. Kidology is going on a little bit there with Chelsea. They're looking for an opportunity, as you said earlier, Matt, to even it up.
Chelsea with a throw right-hand side, 15 yards from the corner flag, poked down the line to Enzo Fernandez. Him and Luke Shaw go at it hammer and tongs again. Luke Shaw wins the battle this time, and Man United are winning the war. 2 goals to the good. The Old Trafford crowd involved now. This rain-soaked day in Manchester, we see Garnacho looking on. Wonder what's running through his head. Departed Manchester United after a falling out with manager Ruben Amorim for greener pastures. Not looking too green and rosy right now.
I'm quite sure it's changed his approach. I think he would have had something planned in his head, what he wanted to do coming back.
Šeško chasing down Jorgensen, who will scoop this up at the edge of his 18-yard box. One more game to come today in the Premier League. That is, of course, Fulham and Brentford, a West London derby. That follows us here with Tom Rennie and Hogan Ephraim. De Ligt hats it over the top of his own head, looking just to prod it forward. Fernandes into a 50-50 with Fernandes, whose temperature is starting to simmer, Paul. That's something you've spotted.
Yeah, he's losing his head a bit, Fernandes. He'll have something to say at half-time. I've seen him at Stamford Bridge when he's not happy, walking off the pitch at half-time.
Andre Santos gives it away cheaply. Šeško tees up Fernandes, back to Šeško, trying to be unselfish. And Šeško goes through the back of Cucurella, who wants more than just a free kick, won't get one. Referee Peter Banks wants a word with the big United forward from Slovenia.
There was nothing wrong with that. It was just 2 people competing for the ball. It's just that Cucurella has used it and just gone up against him and then fallen over, shoulder to shoulder, and then he just throws himself to the floor.
Chelsea at the back with Jorgensen, still attempting to play their way out from the back. Fernandes, deep midfield position, being chased down by Bruno Fernandes, gives it straight away under pressure to Ahmad. Bruno Fernandes back to Ahmad, up against Reece James one-on-one left wing. Dorgu on the overlap, chooses not to use him. In it goes to Mbeumo, a swing and a miss by Brian Mbeumo, who was all ready for the volley. Then Cucurella slides through Mazraoui. It's all action at the moment. It's going to be another United free kick, and Cucurella on a yellow card. When you put yourself at the centre of attention, you always run the risk of picking up an early booking.
Yeah.
Cucurella has done just that.
He has done that. He has slid in there. He's gone wholeheartedly. Oh, he's jumped in two-footed as well, by the way.
So Cucurella sliding through Mazraoui, the two in a foot race for the loose ball. Mazraoui got there first, Cucurella very much second, and through the ankles of the United wing-back. And it will be a United free kick on this right wing, and another chance to deliver, something they have done to great effect in this first half. A sore one for Mazraoui, who picks himself up slowly, but Manchester United will hope to heap the misery on someone else for a change, and Chelsea, the victims at the moment. Enzo Fresca can only rub his head in that dugout, ponderously looking on. Made 3 changes already. So it will be Bruno Fernandes to take this free kick. 5 yards in from the touchline, almost in line with the edge of the 18-yard box, 15 yards or so from that corner flag, out on this right flank. United piling tall bodies into that penalty area. Šeško a target, Maguire a target, Casemiro and De Ligt not bad in the air either. Chelsea very deep at the edge of their 6-yard box. 9 minutes of added time in this first half, and the skipper pondering what to do from this set piece. Outswinger from Fernandes, one in the Chelsea wall, terrible delivery, straight into Cucurella, and Chelsea can clear all too easy. Mazraoui just over halfway, finds Mbeumo, in turn to Casemiro. Long looping ball from him will stay in play and drops the feet of Dorgu. Dorgu to Ahmad, early delivery will test Tosin, who mishits it. Mazraoui picks it up again 40 yards from goal, and United can build another attack through Bryan Mbeumo. And Mbeumo's left-footed cross, looking for Fernandes, nodded down as far as De Ligt. De Ligt takes over 18 yards from goal. Chelsea scramble it clear, rather desperately again though. Bruno Fernandes, the first of those 9 added minutes, has been and gone. United in no hurry.
Well, now it's just getting to half-time, really, just still being in control of the game rather than going to do something silly to allow Chelsea back into it. Not getting involved in what Chelsea are trying to do at the moment. They've got a couple of players who are losing their head, and everything they're doing is to try and cause confrontations.
Bryan Mbeumo takes over from Mazraoui. Andre Santos does his best to get a hold of Mbeumo, but everything United are doing seems to be going through Mbeumo at the moment. He's had a really fantastic start to his United career and to this game. De Ligt next to Maguire. Chance for those two, perhaps just to build some comfort playing alongside one another with Luke Shaw. As I say that, Harry Maguire passes it straight into midfield to Reece James, and United will have to start again.
I have to say, before this game, I always felt that United stood a good chance of getting something, because Chelsea suits Manchester United. They're not a team bursting with great pace.
Cucurella out of play, and Mbeumo hurls the throw backwards to De Ligt. Still hungry for more, the home side. You back them to get it. Chelsea starting to tire at the very end of this first half, and Mbeumo, space for Casemiro right of centre. 25 yards out is Fernandes, trying to thread one through the eye of the needle to Ahmad. The crowd were calling for him to shoot. Prodded to the left for Luke Shaw. Dorgu in the channel, rolled along the face of goal. Tosin can hack it away. Šeško was offside. Free kick for Chelsea, deep inside their own half. Paul, have you been in this situation many times as a player in your playing career, when you go down to 10 so early and you're a couple of goals down as well? What does the second 45 even begin to look like for Chelsea? What do you say if you're Enzo Maresca?
Well, you want to come out and say you just got to stay together and just compete, and maybe just try and work the ball, get into the final third, and if you can get dead balls and go and get that goal that's going to get you the opportunity to have a little bit of a fight back, then to test the nerves of the team you're up against, especially if they're the home side. But the way they are at the moment, they're playing Chelsea, that isn't going to happen. But when you go and do what he's done there, because I've never seen that before, to be honest, you have to make that one substitution, that's always, but to make two, you kind of go, oh, but to then to go and make three, that is absolutely, I'm going to say, ludicrous.
I'm going
to have to say that's ridiculous.
I can't think of many scenarios as a Chelsea manager in a game you're trailing, regardless of the game situation, where you take Cole Palmer off. I can't think of many.
It doesn't make any sense. And what you've gone and done as well, you're taking off maybe your sharpest player on his feet. You take off Neto, who could always be a threat in behind. So that will keep the defence a little bit worried about their line. But now they've just got to worry about one man in João Pedro.
João Pedro off and running again. 1-2 with Fernandes. Can't take the ball in stride. Caicedo picks it up outside the centre circle. Given away though. Dorgu back on it for Manchester United by India. Hooking one long. Šeško underneath it. Tosin out-jumps him this time. Ahmad. Switch intended for Mbermo. Chalobah meets it with his head. Mazraoui straight to Cucurella. Sloppiness creeping in for both teams. Caicedo at the base of Chelsea's midfield. Looking into the feet of Andre Santos. To his right was the run of Enzo Fernandez. Andre Santos brought down. Casemiro is going to get a yellow card. He's already been booked. It's a red. And we are even again at Old Trafford. My. A first half of talking points has just taken another turn. Casemiro booked early for a late lunge in midfield. Has just picked up his second yellow right at the end of this first half. A challenge he never needed to make. Andre Santos was going nowhere. He didn't have numbers, and Casemiro puts one arm on his shoulder, wraps one leg round from behind, does get a touch on the ball, but the angle of the challenge might be what referee Peter Banks has seen. It's 10 versus 10 at Old Trafford, Paul Parker. Need I ask you what you think of that decision?
Well, I'm seeing him win the ball clearly, but I mean, it must have been initially for the pull. That's what he's done it for. I mean, but well, there's maybe a lifesaver for the manager at this moment in time. But it's just been said to me as well that Cole Palmer pointed to his groin before he come off.
And Cole Palmer has had his problems with injuries already this season. Started the season on the sidelines, came back versus Brentford, scored versus Bayern Munich. Casemiro off and down the tunnel for United. If not for the challenge, it was the tug back on Andre Santos, which has seen the Brazilian walk. An eventful first half for him. Can Chelsea roar back now? The entire dimension of the game has changed. The mood inside Old Trafford has flipped on a switch. Cucurella in behind, shooting from the angle and over the top of the crossbar. Well, it may just have lit the match if Cucurella had scored. Slid into him by Caicedo, right-hand side of the penalty area, tight angle. I think he should do better there, Paul. It was bobbling up. He had to hit it first time, but still test the keeper by India there.
Had to do something. It was on his weaker foot as well. He was never comfortable, to be perfectly honest, and that. But you're going to now see a different Chelsea now. You're going to see Cucurella making those runs forwards. That's what you're going to see as well now. It's given them a little bit of opportunity to bite back now. The dynamics of the game have changed.
And you see it there, the tug from Casemiro. Did win the ball eventually, but was already the pullback which has seen him sent off. And I bet Enzo Maresca is wondering now. We've heard that maybe Cole Palmer was injured, but why has he taken off Esteval, Neto and Cole Palmer when Chelsea have a chance to get back in the game, but only one attacking player on the pitch? And I'm sure that's what Chelsea fans will be saying online and in the stadium as we speak. Caicedo down into midfield. Fernandes sweeps it wide.
I think we have to say as well now, but if it stays as it is, goes in, the nervous dressing room is going to be Manchester United.
They are the side under pressure. And Caicedo trying to add to that here. Through to João Pedro. Poor layoff. Falls to the feet of Tosin. Centre circle. Curls one wide. At the feet of Reece James, early cross. De Ligt will see it run beyond him. Cucurella at full stretch to try and keep it in play. Couldn't do so. United throw by their own corner flag, right back position. No one threw themselves at that ball in by Reece James. De Ligt in the end did enough to see it beyond him. A minute left to play, and the 9 we've had added on at the end of this first half. Reminder, at half-time, we'll go over the earlier games of the day and have a little bit of time for analysis between myself and Paul Parker, and there is plenty to analyse. Rarely boring when these two meet, often a draw. That might be a foreboding warning for Manchester United. Most drawn fixture in Premier League history, this one. 6 of the last 10 have ended on as even. Cucurella's throw into Fernandez. João Pedro, lovely scoop and drag into Fernandez again. De Ligt helps it away. Up to Chalobah. Seconds bleeding away from Chelsea, but they look aside with new life. The chests are a little higher, the chins are raised slightly.
See what we're seeing already now. Reece James has pushed more into a midfield role. Now it's come back 10 against 10. He's stepped forward about 5-10 yards now. And when they're playing out from the back, they go to a 3 at the back as well. Reece James goes out really wide, which stretches. And we're seeing now not a comfortable Manchester United anymore.
Into Andre Santos. João Pedro tries to roll the challenge of Luke Shaw. United will try and break with Mbermo, but the pass is a little more jittery. Every touch slightly more nerve-filled at the moment. Caicedo. Fernandez looking in behind for Reece James. Dorgu cuts it out. James trying to nibble back at him. Fernandez, James, free kick Manchester United. The whistle was delayed, but eventually came to the Red Devils' aid, and they'll have a free kick, hopefully, to see out the half from a United perspective.
That doesn't make any sense to me, because he should have blown straight away. If United were in possession, I'll understand if he kept it going to see if they got an advantage. But it seemed like someone told him with that foul on Dorgu.
Well, that will do it here at Old Trafford for the first half. 2 red cards, 2 goals, both of which have gone the way of the home team. Half-time here, it's Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0. Don't go anywhere, you're listening to Premier League Live.
He's tied it up! Shohei Ohtani!
The hunt for October is on, and SiriusXM is your home for baseball's playoff chase.
The Mariners walk it off. Amazing comeback.
From the top seed to the last wild card spot, hear every game and discuss every storyline with the experts of MLB Network Radio.
He's been unbelievable for them all season.
The race for the postseason is on SiriusXM 89, in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
Land buyers and aviation lovers, another 11 home sites sold last week at Pecan Plantation. Why haven't you called yet? Pick up the phone, 855-LAND-100. This is the best real estate buy in the country. Nothing else like it. Out of 700 air parks, only one has lake and river access, a marina, golf courses, restaurants, groceries, medical services, ball fields, and an equestrian center, all behind a gated entry. And yes, everyone gets around on golf carts. Just outside DFW, this resort-style community in Granbury is one of Texas's hidden gems. Air Park home sites start in the low 200s with concrete roads, taxiways, and full utilities. Build your hangar home and taxi straight to the runway. Looking for resort land away from the runway? Half to 10-acre home sites start at only $99.9 with financing from 10% down for qualified buyers. Fly in or drive in. Just don't miss it. Go to pecanlandinfo.com or call 855-LAND-100. That's pecanlandinfo.com or 855-LAND-100.
Are you looking to get into commercial real estate but not sure where to start? Well, you're not alone. For most investors, institutional-grade real estate can be hard to access. At 1031 Crowdfunding, we are changing that by providing a premium marketplace of Delaware statutory trust at your fingertips. DSTs are professionally managed real estate portfolios that grant investors access to high-barrier sectors like senior housing. Every day, 10,000 Americans turn 65. You don't want to miss your window to invest in one of the fastest-growing sectors in real estate. With over $3.4 billion in total transactions and $550 million in senior housing, we've built a platform backed by experience. Create your free account to start investing at 1031crowdfunding.com/SiriusXM. That's the numbers 1031crowdfunding.com/SiriusXM.
1031 Crowdfunding is not a broker-dealer. Securities offered through Capulet LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Investments involve risk and are not suitable for all investors. Please consult your financial or tax advisor.
2 Premier League Titans square off on SiriusXM FC. Arsenal are on a mission to prove they can win it all.
Square back to Odegaard! What a finish!
While Manchester City look to regain their seat on the throne.
Rodri swings it to Haaland at the back post and a brilliant header! So clinical!
It's Arsenal versus Manchester City at the Emirates. Coverage kicks off Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
Welcome along to half-time coverage of Manchester United versus Chelsea from here at Old Trafford. And it's been a crazy half here in Manchester, but it's United holding the lead. Here's how you heard it on Premier League Live. Long it goes off the boot of Bayindi, nodded onto a Burmo. Out comes Sanchez, and Burmo's gone round him. Sanchez has taken him out, has he? Yes, says the referee. What colour will the card be? Peter Banks has given a free kick. It's outside the penalty area. The hand goes into the pocket. The red card comes out. Disastrous for Sanchez, and Chelsea are down to 10, and we haven't even played 5 minutes.
Well, the thing about it, there was 2 players either side of him who were actually going beyond as well. So the referee's given out a straight red, but I mean that was amateurish by Chelsea. You must say that.
Here's Ahmad outside of the boot ball, will run slightly long for Mazraoui. He can cross regardless. They're queuing up at the back post. Dorgo and Fernandez has tapped it home. Manchester United lead at Old Trafford. And it's the skipper that's notched.
And Mazraoui just gets to the ball and he just delivers it into the box, gets headed across by Dorgu, and I think we might be looking at an offside here.
I think this is going to be ruled out. Peter Banks has just touched his ear, and I think VAR will be having a look at it. Peter Banks gestures, and the goal has been given. Manchester United do take the lead. Well, for all the replays we saw, it looked as though Bruno Fernandes had strayed offside, but I just wonder whether it's a non-goal scoring part of his body which is offside, and therefore he will be ruled as on. Burmo takes the corner kick short, works the right corner of the penalty area. Mazraoui's cross, good area. Dorgu back across goal. Where will it land? Up in the air from Reece James. Maguire underneath it, headed across to Casemiro, and United have a second, and it's oh so similar to the first. Headed across the 6-yard box, and Casemiro nods it home. Still life in him yet. It's United 2, Chelsea 0. Andre Santos to his right was the run of Enzo Fernandez. Andre Santos brought down. Casemiro is going to get a yellow card. He's already been booked. It's a red, and we are even again at Old Trafford. My. There you have it. It is Manchester United 2, Chelsea 0 at half-time. Matt Drabble here, Paul Parker alongside me for half-time analysis. It's been a crazy game, Paul, and where else can we start other than that red card? Just 5 minutes in, Robert Sanchez, he had his issues last year. 5 errors leading to goals last year. That led the Premier League. He seemed to have sorted out in the summer at the Club World Cup, and then he goes and does that 5 minutes in.
Yes, I mean, we have to say that he was in a position, could he have been that little bit further back? But you have to ask, if that happens on a Sunday morning, the Sunday morning manager would want to go mad at his 2 centre-halves. He might turn around and think to himself, oh, they've drank too much on the night before, but that was suicidal defending by supposedly 2 top centre-halves to get caught out like that with a long ball, a flick on, and someone running through in between. It was poor from them. Yes, the goalkeeper's got sent off, but I've got a little bit of sympathy with the goalkeeper, more than what I have with being caught like that. If I was caught like that, I'd be totally embarrassed.
And it's not the first time this season for Chelsea. Against Brentford, we saw Sharda made a run in behind. Against Fulham, a game you were at, they were very lucky. Josh King had a goal ruled out. There seems to be a distinct way to hurt Chelsea. It's that ball over the top. They're susceptible to it.
They are. They're not righted in the central areas. And I'll tell you what, if they were to go to Firmino and bring back Silva, he would be their best centre-half still at this moment in time, because they are struggling in that area. I think Fofana's made a big difference. Initially, you saw his pace. He's got more about him than the other 2 in that centre-half position.
A rather miserable first half for the team from West London, but how about over in the East? West Ham United were underway today against Crystal Palace. The pressure's been on Potter. Let's find out how they got on. Barry Swain was watching for us.
3 home defeats in 3 London derbies this season, and the pressure continues to increase on Hammers boss Graham Potter. His side were every bit as good as Palace up until the Eagles taking the lead in the first half. That old Achilles heel back to haunt the Hammers, the inability to deal with a corner, and Jean-Philippe Mateta headed his 50th Palace goal. It should have been 2-0 in the opening minutes of the second half. Another Palace corner, more mayhem at the back for West Ham. Maxime Lacroix powerfully heading against the crossbar, but moments later at the other end, a West Ham corner leaded to the scoreline of 1-1. This time Palace surprisingly sloppy in defending the corner themselves. Jared Bowen glancing the header inside the far post. The equaliser gave Hammers energy. Henderson
all the damn green screen.
Bowen, and Richards clearing off the line. But this game was won by a spectacular goal.
What's up, SO Peeps? Manchester United with the 2-0 lead over Chelsea. I love it. I'm sure True is a happy man. Big shout out to Connor as well for hanging out with us today. And as well, everyone else who's hanging out with us listening to Manchester United. Thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure to hit that like button down below. Share this link out. Let's get more Manchester United fans here in the chat. And we're going to be doing some fun stuff here on SOP Soccer. Look out for True. He's going to be playing EAFC 26 Champs as soon as that starts up. Of course, we still have a little bit of time before that happens. But True's going to be coming up live tomorrow, hanging out with you, telling you all about EAFC 26 and how to get your team off the ground as we have that early access in the Ultimate Edition. Also, True just passed 1,000 followers on TikTok, at SOP True on TikTok. All the EAFC news, tactics, clips, everything you need right there on TikTok. Going to be going live there as well really soon. Congrats on hitting 1,000 followers there, True. Appreciate your work on that, my man, and keep it up. We're that last video, which we should probably put a link in the comments for the 4213 tactics, is blowing up. Almost 300,000 views the last time I checked. And unbelievable. Let's get back to the soccer. We're going to be doing some stuff here on SOP. I'll be playing EAFC as well. True will be on EAFC. We'll be hanging out for maybe some hockey games this season as well. I don't know. We'll see. Going to be doing some TSI stuff, some SOP stuff, making it all happen. Now let's finish off this win, Manchester United. We'll see you back in the chat.
Frank's halftime team talk a whole lot more positive. As the rain came down on the south coast, Tottenham huffed and puffed and had the lion's share of the ball. Xavi Simons came on and made a difference, giving Spurs a bit more bite through the centre, and he was involved in the equaliser, feeding Mohamed Kudus inside the final 10 minutes. And Kudus put in the first real bit of quality from Tottenham from a wide area. His menacing cross just fractionally missed the head of João Paulinho, but fell at the feet of Jean-Paul Van Hecke, who could only guide the ball into the back of his own net for an own goal. Spurs deserved that equaliser, and on balance both sides will be content with a point, and the point for Tottenham means that their unbeaten run on the road is extended to 3 games, and they move to second in the Premier League table with 10 points. Full time from the Amex Stadium, where it's finished. Brighton 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. The only other 3 o'clock kickoff finished. Wolves 1, Leeds 3. Full focus, though, for me and Paul Parker here at Old Trafford, where it's currently 2-0 to Manchester United. What does the second half have in store for us? That comes next on Premier League Live.
Hey there, it's Ray Hudson again, Soccer Extraordinario from Sirius XM FC. The biggest and the most exciting sport in the world lives on Channel 157. Hear every heart-pounding moment from the Premier League, MLS, and the UEFA Champions League. Oh, what a goal! And illuminating analysis from World Cup veterans like Tony Meola.
I don't give a rat's what the process is supposed to look like.
We got the passion on Sirius XM FC.
You can get thousands of extra dollars up front just for picking an agent. Yes, that's what happens when you find your agent with Ready.com. REDY.com. With Ready, agents pay thousands of extra dollars bonus cash to you just for the opportunity to sell your home. That's extra money above and beyond the sales price, yours to keep before your home even goes up for sale. And Ready agents are great local agents. Agents on Ready sell homes for 12% more on average. Agents on Ready sell homes months faster. So find your great local agent by going to Ready.com. Get thousands of dollars up front that you'll miss out on if you hire an agent any other way. Sell your home faster and get thousands and thousands more when you sell. Ready is a win-win-win. Selling your home? Don't leave anything on the table. Go to Ready.com. Get extra money when you pick an agent. Get more money when you sell your home.
Hi, everyone. This is Heisman Trophy winner and NFL quarterback Doug Flutie. I'm excited to tell you that my podcast, the Flutie Flakes Cast, is back for the entire football season. I may have played like 21 years of professional football in 3 different leagues, but I'm still just a big kid, and I absolutely love this game. Every week, we'll talk about the topics I care about and bring on super fun guests. So please subscribe today wherever you stream your podcast or listen on the SXM app, included with most subscriptions.
You're listening to TalkSport's coverage of Manchester United against Chelsea from Old Trafford. I'm your host, Matt Drabble. Alongside me is the former Manchester United defender, Paul Parker. This is Premier League Live. Well, Manchester United and Chelsea have emerged back out of the tunnels and onto the pitch. Of course, 2 goals to the good Manchester United, but a red card apiece in that crazy first half. And I feel like this next 45, Paul, is going to be a real crucial assessment of the mentality of this United team. Where is their confidence at? Where is their belief at?
Yes, I think in 45 minutes, yes, but I'm more concerned about the first 10 minutes or so. That's the bit that will make or break them. Can they contain Chelsea? Can they go and maybe go and score a goal? Or are they going to allow Chelsea to dominate them? Because Chelsea will play all little games now. They're doing all the little bits now. And the manager would have got them psyched up. And then they're going to try and show it in the first 10 minutes.
Substitution for Man United at the break. Benjamin Šeško has been sacrificed. Ugarte is on. So the forward taken off. Feels a bit cruel for Šeško, who perhaps could have had his first chance to notch his first United goal. Playing against the 10 men of Chelsea, but Ruben Amorim, understandably perhaps playing conservative, holding his cards tightly to his chest. Chelsea will get this second half underway. They're in blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks. United in red, white and black. Manchester United's line-up will bring to you once we're back underway. Chelsea going from my left to my right with Andre Santos ready to get this one started. No respite for these players, no respite in the weather either. It just feels finely poised for some more havoc. And Peter Banks will have a busy job in the middle of it all. Saw those Chelsea substitutions, already made 3. United made their first at the break. That was, as I just mentioned, Ugarte coming on for Šeško. Casemiro's red as well, a factor. So Chelsea then, Sanchez in goal, Cucurella's still out there, as are Fernandes, Pedro, Chalobah, James, Caicedo and Fofana. As for Manchester United, it's Bayindir, Mazraoui, De Ligt, Maguire, Fernandes, Dorgu, Ahmad, Brian Mbomo and Luke Shaw with Ugarte on. The referee appears to have been unhappy about the placement of a ball. No. The Premier League's multi-ball system must be observed. There needs to be a ball on every cone before the game can kick off, hence that little delay. And before Paul Parker explodes, let's hope this game gets underway at Old Trafford. Go stick your head out in the rain, Paul. Cool off a little bit. Oh, we've got to wait for another ball. The ball boy's doing his best to chug down there to get another ball out there and in position.
This lad's going to take a bit longer, though, isn't he?
Looks a bit like Casemiro trying to join in that counter-attack in the first half, Paul. Andre Santos gets us back underway to the feet of Philip Jorgensen. Finally, all the balls are where they need to be in the Premier League, and we're underway at Old Trafford. Fofana battling for a challenge, toasting on halfway.
I'll tell you what I'm seeing here, Matt. The rain must have come down half time, because look at the puddles on the pitch. It is sitting on the top of the pitch at this moment in time, and it really needs the rain to stop so it can actually sink, because it will sink straight away. While it keeps raining, it's just going to sit on there. Someone's going to get caught out here badly.
It's Harry Maguire and João Pedro tussling, and my goodness, we've just seen a close-up of it there. The rain is sodden on this Old Trafford pitch. We know this stadium's had its issues with rain, but that was leaking roofs. But right now, the Old Trafford pitch is not holding this water very well, and the ball is not moving very well on it. Headed away by Dorgu. Comes back off Reece James. It will be a United throw left-hand side. A long way from Lisbon now for Ruben Amorim. And he will be analysed and scrutinised ruthlessly. The ball back from Luke Shaw, a risky one in this weather because it's slowly trickling back to Bayindir. who goes long.
I'm just saying, Luke Shaw had no reason to do that. Why did he give it back to the goalkeeper? And it was just passing the buck, that was, from Luke Shaw. Terrible decision. Put the keeper under far too much pressure too early in this second half.
Well, we can never promise you anything here on Premier League Live, but I can promise you that this is not going to be the most attractive half of football you've ever listened to on your airwaves, because the players are playing in something that resembles more of a swimming pool than a football pitch at the moment. Luke Shaw up the line to the feet of Fernandez, trying to skim past Fofana. Surely came off Fofana for a United throw. No, it stayed with Chelsea. Fofana hurls it in field. The white shoes of Amorim trotting up that touchline. Not sure they'll stay white for very long. 47 minutes gone. United 2, Chelsea 0. If you're just joining us on Premier League Live, second half has just got underway. Philip Jorgensen, Caicedo, not comfortable. Back to Tosin, who rolls it up the right-hand side for Fofana. Fernandez applying the pressure. No one can really keep their balance. Fofana hooks it down the line to Reece James. Facing his own goal, United have pinched it high with Shaw.
Oh, referee.
Free kick comes late and goes the way of United.
I don't understand that.
Ugarte.
I don't understand that, really. If there was, why is the referee waiting so long to make his mind up if it was a foul or not? Not really sure.
Enzo Fernandez, the man in the book, treading on the toes of Manuel Ugarte. United will have a free kick. Dangerous area. Chance to lump one in the penalty area. And Fernandez, not the player I would suggest you want on a yellow card. If you're Chelsea, doesn't have the best disciplinary record. Fiery Argentine who burst onto our screens at the 2022 World Cup, just scoring in the Mexico game for Argentina in that tournament. He then wasn't dropped for the remainder of the tournament, went on to win the Young Player of the competition. And Burmo stands over a free kick in line with the left edge of the 18-yard box, 35 yards out, swung into a good area. Maguire the target, Cucurella hacks it clear. And off and running is Fernandez to chase, back with Burmo. And Burmo drifting past challenges, still he goes on, Brian Burmo, Dorgu joining in support. Fofana gets in the way, all rather untidy at the moment. Chelsea trying to play their way out, and Ugarte's committed a foul. Chelsea want the ball back and in a hurry.
Yeah, definitely come out the blocks, Chelsea. They really moving things on very quick, but it's difficult to run with the ball at the moment. There's too many Manchester United players trying to run with the ball at the moment.
Seems to be the tactic from both sides, with the ball not moving very quickly on this surface. Players are trying to drag it forward themselves. Tosin shifts it sideways to Fofana, and that Chelsea now back three. Tosin lofting one over the top. All sorts of room for Mazraoui. What can he do with it? Into Ahmad, Delict. In an attacking midfield position, Ahmad was scythed down by Moise Caicedo. In fact, it was Trevor Chalobah, sorry, that's gone into the book.
There's another red card coming up in this game, I think. Just by the conditions are not helping either, and the referee's too quick to give out cards now. So that suggests to me that he's going to have to give a second yellow at least.
There are 4 players currently on the pitch with a yellow to their name. It could get an awful lot worse, as Paul said, given these miserable conditions. 50 minutes gone. Matt Drabble, Paul Parker, Manchester United versus Chelsea on Premier League Live. Red Devils 2, Blues 0 at the moment, and coming up after this we have Tom Rennie alongside Hogan Ephraim bringing you Fulham versus Brentford. Bruno Fernandes, free kick for United, 40 yards from goal, right of centre. Sweeps one in towards Harry Maguire, only finds Chalobah. Chelsea will break with Andre Santos. The ball won't sit kindly for him. João Pedro takes over on halfway. James ahead of him. João Pedro's put it behind James. Mazraoui can steal in, and Caicedo's overcommitted, but Mazraoui doesn't have a great deal of support. Into the final third, Ahmad to his left, to an overlapping Ahmad. Backs away from the penalty area, out toward the touchline for Dorgu. Challenge made by Caicedo, who slips.
I think there's a lot of water on it. It's too much water on the pitch at the moment. Has he given a foul? He's given that a foul. He's nowhere near it, the referee.
Well, it is relentless, the weather. The pitch isn't getting better, and I hate to say it, and I'm sure that won't be the situation we find ourselves in, but at what stage do the officiating team start to think about whether this is a playable playing surface, Paul Parker?
Once they go past the point of no return, that the game has to be replayed. So they're not going to want to stop it in that sense, stop it too early. But like you used to say back when I was playing, these kind of conditions, there's always a chance of an injury. I'm waiting to see for someone to do a 1980 slide tackle.
It is very slippy. Chelsea slipping and sliding as they try and play their way out from the back. Tosin through the gap. Maguire off and running. Out comes Bayindir. Not sure he really needed to come out there, the goalkeeper. He sprayed it into touch on the right wing. Chelsea will have a throw, 15 yards shy of the halfway line. And one thing that has been a great asset to Chelsea this year has been their set pieces. 5 of their 7 open play goals, 5 of their 7 goals rather, have come from set pieces. Bernardo Cueva, the man praised for a lot of that. The set-piece coach brought in at the start of last campaign, didn't really bear fruit in his first season with the club, starting to see it now. Highest percentage of any in the division. Chelsea. And Bayindir sees it skewed out of play. We are going to see, by the looks of it, Alejandro Garnacho. Be interesting to see what sort of reception he gets. Was part of Ruben Amorim's so-called bomb squads. Players omitted from the starting 11 and then the team all together for disagreements with the Portuguese manager.
You're hearing it already.
Free kick goes the way of Chelsea, and I think Man United fans have just clocked on to the fact that we are perhaps going to see Alejandro Garnacho momentarily. Meanwhile, Chelsea have it at the back with Andre Santos, tries to prod it forward to João Pedro. Maguire takes over, reaches out an arm, surely caught Andre Santos in the face. The referee says yes. Maguire has a word with Andre Santos. Physio team's going to come on. It's been a feisty game, this, Paul. It's had a bit of edge about it.
It has, and I just look at it and I'm sitting here and it's easy, but in these situations, you don't get involved in anything. You let them do it. They're the ones who are chasing, and all you got just walk away from it and let them get on. If you walk away, they've got no one to argue with. Harry Maguire hasn't done anything wrong there. He's just his arms are up. He's taller than the fella, than Santos, and he's caught him in the face. Santos gone down like Harry Maguire has meant it, but Maguire, the referee's seen it. Walk away. There's no point hanging around and trying to go to the player and call him out. Look, he's still carrying on.
It's 54 minutes gone. Harry Maguire getting a talking to from the referee. Maguire trying to shield the ball so he could run away with it. Andre Santos waiting behind him, just caught a stray arm, but there was certainly no intent from Maguire. And now Chelsea will have a free kick, you imagine, on halfway. Andre Santos, unsurprisingly, back up to his feet and moving fine. There was very little in it. João Pedro and Maguire just having a word with each other as well. As you said, Paul, Maguire would be well placed to stay well out of it. As a centre-back, you're always likely to pick up a yellow card in these conditions by falling over. You don't want to make it a red by getting involved in something you don't need to.
No, that's exactly right. But, I mean, he's been the captain of the club and he should know better than that. Why get involved?
Long diagonal from Chelsea. Dorgu, who's had a very good game thus far, is underneath it again. Reece James beats him to a loose ball, though. Fofana puts it into the middle for Moise Caicedo. Dragged back behind the halfway line. Trevor Chalobah waiting for it to drop to his feet. Cucurella. Chalobah. Fofana switches it to the right wing. Nowhere for Reece James to go, with Dorgu following him. And Chelsea haven't been able to make that United red card tell. Lovely ball into Mbeumo up the other end. Back to goal, Brian Mbeumo. Past one challenge, but not past Caicedo, who can wriggle free with it. But the ball not moving quick enough for anyone to dribble effectively. And it right back at the feet of United. Luke Shaw, centre circle. Dorgu. Fernandes all the way home to Maguire, and at the moment United are managing the conditions the better, you have to say that.
Yeah, well, Chelsea haven't really done a lot, to be honest. In this current situation, we have to say United are definitely in a better place. Chelsea haven't done enough to actually believe that they can actually initially go and get a shot at goal, let alone go and score. Still enough time.
Caicedo with a firm challenge against Mbeumo. United throw, which is hurled backwards quickly. The home side enjoying the lion's share of possession at the moment. Harry Maguire with the ball at his feet. One of the leaders in this United side, and we need leaders at the moment. Dorgu. Risky ball comes off to Fernandez. To an underlapping Harry Maguire. Dorgu takes over. Maguire to his left and Burmo in the middle. Chip towards Burmo. Headed away by Chalobah. Bruno Fernandes, left wing, back on his right foot, and Burmo waiting for it to drop. Just too much on it from Bruno Fernandes, and it will be a Chelsea goal kick.
Yeah, I don't know what Fernandes is gesturing towards, like he's telling Pip to go in. It was a poor ball. That's all it was. It was a poor ball.
Surprising from Fernandes. A man notched 18 assists last year, has created more chances in the Premier League this year than anyone else. This is 200th Premier League appearance today. Bruno Fernandes. Philip Jorgensen takes the goal kick short for Chelsea. Back to Jorgensen once more, and Burmo chasing him down. Chalobah. Left-hand side, Andres Santos to Cucurella. Chelsea still trying to play their way out, still getting punished. Ahmad taking over from United. Wonderful footwork to scamper up the line. Harry Maguire's lost out though, and João Pedro can break, and now Chelsea do have a chance, perhaps for the first time this afternoon. João Pedro left wing. He's worked the space well. Mazraoui makes the tackle, but only as far as Caicedo. Reece James. Caicedo, the red shirt's recovering, tries to slide one through to João Pedro. Luke Shaw interception, and Mazraoui again the man to make the challenge.
Yeah, Luke Shaw didn't help Mazraoui with that pass there. He could have gone and done the job himself, to be perfectly honest. But again, he's put Mazraoui under pressure where he didn't have to. But that started really from Harry Maguire getting caught out on the halfway line and Chelsea getting in behind him. Again, it was João Pedro, but again, he was on his own.
Well, Enzo Fernandez has been issuing instructions to Alejandro Garnacho for about 13 minutes. I imagine the instructions are something along the line of pick up the ball, kick it in that net over there with 2 goals down. I mean, I wonder how complicated it can be in these conditions. When you're 2 goals down, I would let the winger come on and express himself, surely, Paul.
My way of working at is that football is a simple game. Don't complicate it.
Fofana. Still we wait for that Garnacho substitution, if we even see it. Infield it goes to Caicedo. Across midfield, Tosin. Chalobah to his left. Space is opening up for Chelsea. United stretched, if only for a moment. João Pedro back to goal. Turns and faces as Andres Santos darting in behind. Instead switches it out to James with a delightful crossfield pass. James will run up this right flank to the byline. Hooked towards the back post. Andres Santos heads it across the face of goal. Tosin prods it back out to Fofana. Best spell of the second half for Chelsea at the moment. Tosin again.
I think we have to say with Chelsea as well, they've got to get the ball in the box a little bit more often at the moment. They need to score a goal as soon as possible to give themselves an opportunity to get something from the game. But they're just playing a lot of passes in front. If you keep playing in front of Manchester United, it suits them. United's biggest problem is when teams look to get in behind, with and without the ball. Runners in behind, threaten them.
If only they had 2 rapid wingers, maybe one from Portugal and one from Brazil in their squad so far today. Here's Fofana. Backwards it goes. Andres Santos to Enzo Fernandez. Swept out to Fofana again. Steps over halfway, but again, Chelsea very much in front of this Manchester United shape at the moment, rather than finding a way through it. Fofana out to Reece James. Fernandez holding his shape, and Chelsea will just keep going sideways and backwards.
See again there, we've just seen Fernandez make a run in behind. They didn't give him the ball. That's all they've got to do is just turn Manchester United around to cause a problem. But playing in front, it's easy to defend, not asking enough questions.
The voice of Paul Parker. Half an hour left to play here at Old Trafford. United 2, Chelsea 0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Rolled backwards by João Pedro to Fofana. Will the Chelsea patience pay off eventually? Still they look for holes in a rather resolute Man United shape. Andres Santos. Tosin. Santos through to Caicedo. United content for Chelsea to do exactly this. Out to Enzo Fernandez. Does he have a bit of magic in those boots today? Tosin. United being cheered on by the home crowd, who are enjoying this defensive effort. João Pedro pokes it between the legs of Harry Maguire. who sees it back to Bayindir. Bayindir will go long. Looking from Burmo, down to Andre Santos. Chelsea move a bit quicker this time. João Pedro swivelling. Fernandes has Reece James on the overlap. James in behind, across the face of goal. Brilliant intervention made by Matthijs de Ligt. The blue shirts were queuing up. De Ligt stole across the face of goal and thumped it clear, and it remains United 2, Chelsea 0.
I think we're saying he's offside, Reece James, anyway, but De Ligt didn't know that, and he's took up a great position as well, just in front of the 6-yard box, because Reece James is very good in areas to cross the ball.
And so Chelsea are going to make a substitution, as are Manchester United, and Chelsea are going to bring on a fullback in this game, Malo Gusto, and it will be Cucurella making way on a yellow card. That no doubt protected Cucurella. Now Matheus Cunha looks set to come on. Ruben Amorim saying he's not sure he wants to make that substitution anymore. Apologetic hand to the referee. Cunha looks as confused as the rest of us. And Burmo's going to stay on. Cunha's going to sit back down by the looks of things, Paul.
I don't know if he can just do that, decide, because of all the paperwork that's happened. Is he going back on again? I didn't think you could do that just with all that paperwork, the time it takes to get someone on.
So it looks like Cunha's going to sit back down and Burmo's going to stay on. Chelsea also, we're told, preparing Malo Gusto, the fullback, and Tyreek George, the young forward. Chelsea corner kick, right wing, must not have been offside against Reece James then. And they'll swing it in from this right flank. In from James, nodded on and headed home. Fofana, virtually on the goal line, steers it in. But of course, the offside flag denies him. And Wesley Fofana thought he had pulled one back for Chelsea. The assistant on the near side had other ideas.
Well, that's a great spot. It must have been an incredible margin for him to be offside. Oh, he's gone straight in. Oh, no, not. He's gone straight in there against the keeper. He never come out again.
Well, Chelsea thought they had their own header from close range after the one we saw from United in the first half, but Fofana had strayed off, so will be a United free kick deep inside their own half. A lot of sorting out going on underneath us, and we still can't work out exactly who's being replaced for who. It is going to be Tyreek George on and Malo Gusto on. It will be Fofana and Cucurella off eventually. So Tyreek George a forward, Malo Gusto a fullback, but Cucurella walking a tightrope on the card, so no doubt that playing a part in Enzo Maresca's thinking.
Because initially he was at his previous club, Gusto, he was a left back.
Been playing right back for Chelsea. Mazraoui's going to make way for United. He has been excellent so far today. One of their most important players.
Well, he's been excellent since he's come back, Matt. To be honest, they've missed him. He's the one player that has got natural pace in that what you deem as the back line. You've got Mbeumo, but you definitely got Cunha with pace. Other than that, really, there isn't enough players. Diallo is very quick with the ball at his feet, but they haven't brought on Garnacho.
So Garnacho, for all the instruction, for all the talking, remains on the bench. Matheus Cunha is on for Mazraoui. He's got a brilliant record against Chelsea, Matheus Cunha, 4-5 against the Blues. It's his favourite opponent in the Premier League.
So I think we're seeing here Diallo's gone into that wing-back position.
All the way through to Jorgensen. Out to the feet of Tosin. Chelsea needs some life and they need it quick. Can Tyreek George provide it? Chalobah inching out from the back line. Swept across midfield to Fernandes. Darting in behind was George. Haas couldn't find him. Luke Shaw to Dorgu. Dorgu to Ugarte. Back to the left back and across to the heart of the United defence for Harry Maguire. Hasn't had a great deal to do today. Closed down by Tyreek George. Bends one wide to Ahmad. Back to Maguire. João Pedro closing him down. United fans frustrated, wanting their side to get up the pitch. Eventually they do. De Ligt overlapping on the right, plays it off Moise Caicedo. Chelsea get the throw, thrown into João Pedro. Back to Caicedo. United, though, relatively untroubled for all this Blues possession.
Exactly right. Chelsea are just playing in front. They're not trying to turn them around. Players are making runs, but the players on the ball are reluctant just to pass the ball through in between.
Chalobah. Out to Malo Gusto, the substitute. Frenchman elects not to cross and goes back to the halfway line. Tosin. Andre Santos has some space in front of him. Reece James doesn't. Dorgu quickly in his face. Tosin into Caicedo. He will turn his hips and look upfield to Andre Santos, but there's no one to thread that through to. Really struggling for creative spark, Chelsea. Enzo Fernandez gives it away. A rushed, hurried pass, and India can just smash it long for Chelsea at the second attempt. Tosin, under no pressure, has headed it straight into touch, and that's a gift for United.
That was poor from Tosin. I don't know why he'd done that. He had enough time to let it go past him and even turn himself or let it run through to the keeper.
It was a point brought up midweek after Chelsea were swept aside rather easily by Bayern Munich, Paul, that for a £2 billion squad, it still doesn't feel as though there's that quality of depth for Chelsea that the likes of City and Liverpool and even Arsenal can boast. Do you feel that watching this game?
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. There's a lot of money spent, but they seem to have gone to maybe a different tier, different level to what Liverpool and Arsenal are at this moment. They're shopping different places.
A lot of young players and maybe a bit of inexperience, as we see that there from Tyreek George pulling his man down. It's been a very clear outlook from the Clear Lake Investment Group over at Chelsea. $2 billion in the 3 years since they took over. Most of that, though, going in the forward lines. Attacking creative players are, of course, suffering with injuries today, but still really distinctly and obviously lacking spark, imagination out there today.
You've nailed it there just by saying that. That's what they are lacking, Matt. They are definitely lacking that. They're not sure. I mean, I'm just not convinced that really this team are 2-0 down. They're not playing like a side who are 2-0 down. If you're a manager, you'd be going, in my opinion, I'd be expecting the manager to go absolutely mad at me.
Here's Mateus Cunha, first chance to run at the Chelsea back line, tries to lay it off at the edge of the 18-yard box. Gusto gets there, given away though to Mbermo. Tyreek George looking for anything in the way of an attacking chance and is running himself into trouble. Fernandez slides in. It's worth noting, had a 5 or 10 minute spell without significant rain. The pitch does appear to ever so slightly be improving now.
It does do that. It disappears so quickly.
Meanwhile, the referee wants a word with Harry Maguire.
Go off.
Maguire is being helped off the pitch by the referee, and coming on is Lenny Yoro. So Maguire off, Yoro on, like-for-like switch at centre-back. We're also going to see Mason Mount up against Chelsea. This will be a strange moment for Mason Mount, no doubt. The midfielder that spent so many years with the Blues is coming onto the pitch. 18-year association he had with Chelsea, 195 senior appearances, 33 goals, a Champions League medal. Comes on against Chelsea for United now, replacing Brian and Mbermo. Mount on and Mbermo off, Yoro on, Maguire off.
And Mason Mount will definitely add a little more energy in that team. He'll be everywhere, especially as he's playing against his old club as well. He just wants to maybe prove a point. He didn't have a great last, maybe say, season and a half. Things didn't really go his way. He was in and out, and obviously a lot of things said about him.
He's had a very unique career, Mason Mount. Seemed like the world is at his feet at one stage, and then had a strange stage where managers loved him and fans didn't seem to, and even now struggling for the affections of both. João Pedro racing into the channel against De Ligt. De Ligt gets there first. The wet surface taking all the pace off the ball. 20 minutes to play. United 2, Chelsea 0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Myself, Matt Drabble, and Paul Parker. Patrick Dorgu. Luke Shaw swept over the top. Bruno Fernandes nods down into midfield. Mount will try and get there. Chalobah, his former academy teammate, beats him to it. Malo Gusto, head full of steam, wind in his sails as he launches an attack forward over halfway, but that's where it ends, at the feet of Caicedo.
I'm just really not understanding Chelsea. They're just playing, they're just in there content. We lose 2-0. The keeper's had nothing to do. They haven't threatened him. They haven't put the ball in the box. They haven't gone behind them. They haven't shown the right kind of aggression for a side that's down. If you're a manager, you'd be going jumping up and down on the side. If you're the Chelsea fans, you'd be going mad at what you see now.
There has been a strange passiveness about Chelsea, and the most damning thing, I think, Paul, is that since United also went down to 10, nothing's changed about the game.
No, that's the bit I was looking for. I was looking for it to really change.
João Pedro can't make any further changes. He's been robbed of the ball 20 yards from goal. It's been a very tepid Chelsea performance. Before the red, after the red, really from minute one. Because even before Robert Sanchez was sent off, United flew out the traps in this game.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Bayindir's clearing it long, and Tyreek George has steamrolled into him at full speed. Tyreek George looking rather nervous, Bayindir on the deck. How much contact was made here? Enough for a yellow, says the referee, Peter Banks.
Well, his reaction may have just given it away to the referee, because the referee wouldn't have a clue by how far he was away from that ball to what kind of contact was made.
So George into the book. It was not too dissimilar from the one we saw from Anthony Gordon on Virgil van Dijk earlier in the season. The only difference was the amount of contact made. The challenge Gordon made on Van Dijk left a clear mark on Van Dijk's leg in that Newcastle-Liverpool game. It was a similar thing. Tyreek George came steaming across at full speed trying to press, but no contact was made.
It was contact from maybe his thigh onto the keeper's body. That's all it was. He's making out as his leg, but it's not.
And that is why it's only a yellow for Tyreek George. Interesting to see and hear what Chelsea fans say after this game about Enzo Maresca, because even last season, when they always looked comfortably like they were going to get the Champions League, the groans and moans started. The expectations are high in the west of London, and I imagine there'll be a few groans and moans after today, unless, of course, they can come up with something in the remaining 17 minutes or so. Lenny Yoro, guided back to the feet of Bayindir, hurled long by the United keeper. Mount helps it on. Cunha nods down into midfield, where Fernandes will take over. Whips one wide to Ahmad. Ahmad up against Gusto. What can he come up with here on this right wing? Lays back off to Fernandes. Fernandes is trying to lose the attentions of Caicedo, who's had a nibble at his heels, brought him down, and given Manchester United a free kick. Now Andre Santos and Mason Mount have gone nose to nose, and there's yet more afters. Ugarte's getting involved, Lenny Yoro playing peacemaker. Enzo Fernandez wants his say. Pantomime stuff here at Old Trafford. It's been more of a circus than a pantomime in Ruben Amorim's time in charge, but right now it is pantomime, and Chelsea very much the side with egg on their faces.
I'm just looking here again. I don't know. There was no contact at all on Fernandes. It wasn't. It's just absolutely. I don't know. I'm not really understanding this game anymore. I'm starting to lose players what the reactions are. You should be laughing at people.
Well, Jamie Gittins, Mark Guiu are forward, and Alejandro Garnacho must be on that bench, scratching their head, wondering what they have to do to get on the pitch today. Fernandes with a free kick for Manchester United, 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area on the right-hand side. You drew a straight line along the 18-yard box and placed it on the right wing. That's where Fernandes is. And the blue shirts are back defending. Not too much in the way of red shirts in the penalty area to attack this. It's just Yoro, Shaw, De Ligt and Cunha. It's in towards Cunha, headed out as far as Dorgu. De Ligt curls one back in, volleyed goalward by Ahmad and gets it all wrong. It'll be a Chelsea goal kick.
Last season that was going for Ahmad. I've seen him do it twice now. He had one in the Manchester derby and this one, and he just hasn't connected with either, where last season that was going for him.
Ahmad's trying the spectacular, attempting the scissor kick on the full volley, falling backwards. Doesn't get it right. Chelsea will get us restarted. Rolled short to Chalobah. Chelsea carrying it forward. They have, of course, made their 5 subs now. The Blues, Gusto, George, Jorgensen, Santos and Tosin. So Gittins and Garnacho will never see the pitch. In this one, the 2 wingers. Chalobah looking for James. Backwards header by Dorgu. He took a chance there, but Bayindir did well to read it and sprint out.
Yeah, Bayindir was starting too far back, by the way. His starting position was terrible. That's why it made it look worse than what it really was. On a pitch which is quite wet on the top, that was a bonus.
Already seen one goalkeeping error today. Robert Sanchez, just 5 minutes in. If you're wondering how we got here, Sanchez sent off in 5 minutes. Chelsea then conceded, courtesy of Bruno Fernandes, a tap-in from close range. Casemiro added a second before getting sent off himself, taking us to 10 men apiece. The scorelines remain the same ever since, 2-0 United. Fernandes, James, into the feet of Moise Caicedo. Not just on the field matters concerning for Chelsea at the moment, they've also had 74 charges levied against them during breaches of agent payments under the ownership of Roman Abramovich, and are getting investigated by the PFA for the treatment of Raheem Sterling and Axel Disasi, who have been exiled for the squad and are being forced to train on their own. Stories which we'll keep an eye on as the months and weeks develop in this Premier League season. Bruno Fernandes, lovely ball over the top. What can Cunha come up with? Darting beyond the legs of Chalobah. Chalobah recovered well, prodded it up in the air, and Gusto will carry it away for Chelsea, but they're going nowhere. Back to Jorgensen, Mount putting the pressure on. Jorgensen sneaks it away, Reece James brings it down. He's doing keepy-ups facing his own goal, his side are 2-0 down. Fernandes wins Chelsea a free kick.
It was just pointless there. I don't know what Luke Shaw was doing there. Any contact, you knew the player was going to go down, and Luke Shaw goes and touches him, he goes down. That's not a foul.
João Pedro earns a free kick of his own. Groans of frustration from the home crowd and United players alike.
And the assistant referee reacts to a player going down and screaming. That was incredible. De Ligt reaction says it all.
Caicedo. Now Enzo Fernandez, right of centre, midway inside United territory. Back to the middle of the park for Caicedo. Swept across to Chalobah, Andre Santos, João Pedro to Andre Santos once more, one-touch passing. Footwork was clever from Andre Santos. He's found Malo Gusto left wing, cross goes in, straight to Ugarte, who can nod it away from danger and up to the halfway line. The away crowd want more from Chelsea. A reminder, they haven't won here since Alex Ferguson was the manager back in 2013. Juan Mata getting the winner that day. Reece James looking to cross right-footed, delays the cross, and I can't think why he's delayed that cross, Reece James. Luke Shaw was standing off him, the blue shirts were waiting, he faked a cross. By the time he did cross it, Luke Shaw had gained 5-6 yards.
Yeah, but they had players in behind the ball as well.
James takes the corner kick short to Enzo Fernandez, in it goes, De Ligt away, Malo Gusto. Prods one to Caicedo, back out to James. Dorgu was quick to close him down, good defending by the wing-back. Chelsea still delaying that delivery into the penalty area. They're running out of time, got just 10 minutes plus stoppage time to find 2 goals. Malo Gusto crosses, Shaw in the way again, Chelsea corner kick.
This is their first corner of this half, isn't it, as well? And they're 2-0 down, it's terrible, it's terrible. They've been so tepid in this half, it's incredible.
Gusto goes short to James. In it goes from James. The bodies go up, and Chalobah pulls one back. Towering header from Trevor Chalobah. It is United 2, Chelsea 1. Finally a delivery of some quality for Chelsea. Finally an injection of life from the Blues. A ball into the penalty area, which Chalobah notches into the bottom right. And United have something to think about.
Well, if no one's up against him, no one's up, and Ahmad's there. He's behind Euro. No one's actually connected with him. They're just in there and expecting it to be handled, and it wasn't. Not a chance for the keeper. It was an absolutely fantastic header. He just didn't get his head to it. He got his head to it with the idea of where he wanted to pull it as well, and not a chance for the keeper. He's hit the side netting from the centre of goal. Now we're going to see, I think, a different Chelsea now. Now there's going to be more belief that they can nick a point.
Corner kick was taken short, a beautiful delivery, fizzed in from the right-hand side with all the whip and pace required to trouble Manchester United. Trevor Chalobah leapt above the crowd, rose straight up in the air and steered it with his forehead from the middle of the penalty area into the bottom right-hand corner, hitting the side netting of the goal to make it United 2, Chelsea 1. But where was Lenny Yoro? Cement in his shoes. He stood there like a statue as Chalobah rose above him, never challenged the header, and all too easy for Chelsea to pull one back.
He was in between Euro and Ahmad. I don't know if Ahmad said anything to him for him to step back half a yard and at least get body contact on him so he can't get a clean header. But he definitely was able to jump far too easy, and there was no one there to make contact with him to put him off. poor defending in the end, far too easy.
Chalobah on the score sheet. And now, once more, after offering very little, Chelsea seem to have some signs of life again. The away crowd certainly thinks so. Chalobah, full of confidence, hits along diagonal. Out to Reece James on the right flank. Dorgu sitting off him. Enzo Fernandez. Reece James. Dinked into João Pedro. Yoro on his back. João Pedro swivels. Looking for a pass. Reece James up to Malo Gusto. Ahmad had to get there. Cunha helps it on its way. Nerve-shredding stuff for United fans.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit edgy there now. It's interesting just how some of these players deal with it after, in theory, being allowed to be comfortable for most of the half. All of a sudden, the pressure's back on them. How are they going to deal with it? A lot of them have played in the comfort zone. Haven't really looked like a third goal was coming as well. That was the one that makes a difference. Be brave enough to go out and push for that third goal. They haven't done it. Haven't done enough. And all of a sudden, the impetus is all on Chelsea, really.
João Pedro just cleverly spins it round the corner but couldn't catch his own touch. Chelsea had offered nothing, less than nothing really, up until that ball came in from the right-hand side. And now United are treading on some very thin ice, and this would not be forgiven lightly. But Reece James has given it away to Bruno Fernandes, who will power United forward. Bruno Fernandes! Jorgensen has to drop to his right to keep it out. Shot from distance from the United skipper, looking for his second, United's third. And from 25 yards out, he tests Philip Jorgensen, stinging the palms of the Danish keeper.
Well, that's come about by Reece James being trying to be a little bit too clever there. The hard work was done, and he made it easy by trying to have an extra touch. And he goes to Fernandes, and he takes it on about 30 yards from goal, and he forces a save. And it's the first real bit we've seen, a little bit of injection of life from Manchester United, wanting to score a third goal.
Jorgensen waits on his penalty spot, trying to command this Chelsea back line. United corner kick, left wing. Fernandes taken in-swinger. Jorgensen retreats to his goal line. Red shirts waiting, lurking to get on the end of this. In it goes towards De Ligt. Headed away. Andre Santos wins the loose ball. Chelsea are breaking from the United corner. Andre Santos over halfway. And Luke Shaw recovers well. Cunha, Mount, runs into Chalobah. Ugarte out to Mateus Cunha on the right flank. Ahmad racing in field. Instead it's crossed to Fernandes, who brings it down back to goal. Helped out to Ahmad. It's just broken down for United.
Yeah, it's a poor ball from Fernandes. Poor ball.
5 minutes for Chelsea to find an equaliser. 5 minutes to test the fortitude of Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. De Ligt down off the ball. By India scooping it up.
I mean, to be perfect honest, look at Tyreek George compared to De Ligt. How has he managed to knock De Ligt over like that for him to fall down so easily and roll around?
Sent long from Bayindir. Tosin over halfway. Now United will settle it down with Luke Shaw. Threaded through to Fernandes. Tries a fancy flick. Probably not the time for that because it's released João Pedro. De Ligt with a surprising turn of pace, but he's got caught in the puddle. And João Pedro's managed to steal it back on the right wing. Dorgu back defending. And Dorgu does well. Calms it down.
He does really well, Dorgu. I think João Pedro had actually given up on it, hadn't he? And then he's tried to turn De Ligt, and has got caught in the puddle, and that's how he's managed to get back in possession.
One thing that surprised me so far this afternoon is the turn of pace of Mateus De Ligt. He has a good knack for that.
But I think it's more about the fact he's a good reader of the game as well, senses danger and deals with things early.
Referee just getting his radio changed at the moment. So we'll have a slight break in play. Had 9 added minutes in the first half. May have a hefty amount in this second half. 4.5 left to play plus stoppages. Man United 2, Chelsea 1. A game rarely without incident, without talking points, is full of them again. 2 red cards, 3 goals, and a whole host of yellows brandished as well for both teams. Kobbie Mainoo is on for United. Bruno Fernandes, the captain, is off. Kobbie Mainoo is always at the heart of discussions at the moment. Talented young English midfielder the likes of which were so often heralded, lauded. It's what made Man United, players like Kobbie Mainoo. But at the moment, he finds himself a bit part player off the bench, and he's going to get, 3.5 minutes here, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the rest on the end of it, but I'm just surprised he didn't come on. When you see Ugarte come on, I'm surprised that he wasn't the first shout. Great performance off the bench last weekend. Deserved the opportunity to at least come on as the first sub.
What's the best thing for that situation? Is it, in your opinion, to get him into this team, to find a way to play him in those two deeper midfielders, or is it just to move him on, take the money and allow his career to flourish elsewhere?
I would like to see him come in, to be honest, come into the side. When you look at where they are at this moment in time, I don't think it's going to happen under this manager. I think seems like he's made his mind up. There's something that he just doesn't like.
Ruben Amorim often cuts a calm figure, like nothing really phases him, even when it's going wrong at United. But right now, he is beyond animated. Stressed, wiping the rain from his forehead on this sideline. Amorim is pacing back and forth. He is desperate for this victory. Desperate for back-to-back home victories at United. Back to Jorgensen, go Chelsea. Out to Chalobah. They'll launch forward again through the goal scorer. Chalobah over halfway. Andre Santos has been bright for Chelsea, if anyone has. It's been Andre Santos, the Brazilian. Now Caicedo, urging for better runs ahead of him. Malo Gusto left wing. Ahmad quickly into him, firm in the challenge. Chelsea throw. And they're running out of time. Malo Gusto goes backwards to Chalobah. Curls it into the centre circle for Tosin, opening up, and his bright white boots, the long legs of Tosin, carry it into United territory. Andre Santos makes a run in behind. Chelsea choose not to use him. Chalobah.
I just think there's the opportunity just to go and do that. You might earn a foul out of it, but just do that now. It's come to that point of almost no return for Chelsea. They've got to try and change their game plan a little bit.
With every Blues pass, United sinking deeper and deeper towards Bayindir in that goal. Malo Gusto left wing, 2 yards in from the touchline, up against Ahmad. Elects not to cross. Chalobah will cross, digs one out, switches play to Reece James. First touch is perfect. Now Fernandes back to James, and a nervous silence falls over Old Trafford. They sense something coming, and it's not seeming positive. Malo Gusto left wing, into João Pedro, stepping out is De Ligt. United will try and break through Ahmad. Can he run Chalobah up this line? How much energy is left in those legs? Not enough. Gusto steals back in. Into the 90th minute we go. Reece James. Fernandes on halfway. A check of the watch by Peter Banks. How much added time will we get? Is it enough for Chelsea? Reece James, right wing. Dorgu's there. Will be a throw for the away side. There is a real sense of pressure, Paul.
There is, but they haven't done enough to hurt Manchester United at the moment. They're running out of time, of normal time, I should say.
7 added minutes we're going to get here at Old Trafford. 7 minutes for a Chelsea equaliser. With United confidence on the floor, team mentality perhaps at an all-time low. They are going to be pushed to their very limits by this Chelsea team. Lenny Yoro sprints out from the back to earn United a throw. The home fans love it. This feels like an FA Cup tie, and not to be too disrespectful to Manchester United, it feels like an FA Cup tie with the home team cheering on a League Two team against a Premier League team at the moment, Paul.
Oh, don't mention League Two teams.
I wonder how Grimsby are getting on, or how they got on today down there in League Two. And of course, seemed like the nadir for United. Bounce back versus Burnley, but this would go even further into improving a rather low mood. Ahmad.
I don't know what he was doing there, Ahmad. It just seemed a desperation. He just needed him to be composed there and keep possession.
Smashes it up into the darkening United sky. Tyreek George fouls Kobbie Mainoo. And Maresca takes a trot out to his technical area. Rueful look on his face as he gazes out at those in blue in front of him. A reminder, following the conclusion of this game, we'll hand straight over to the talented Tom Rennie and Hogan Ephraim. They're bringing you Fulham versus Brentford. That's 8 o'clock UK time kickoff. De Ligt wide to the left. Dorgu lets it bounce. James steals in. was too strong for Dorgu. 6 minutes left for Chelsea to find an equaliser, but it's in the wrong end of the pitch for the Blues. Chalobah at the edge of his own 18-yard box. Malo Gusto back to Jorgensen. Not really had a great deal to do other than pick the ball out the back of his net, Jorgensen. The one save from Fernandez. Reece James now. United shape firm. This is the one scenario when that back five sort of seems to come in handy, although they might have switched to a 4 with the substitutions. Tyreek George has stolen in behind. Gets there first ahead of Ahmad. Offside flag up. Now United will have a free kick.
Just actually now at this moment, you just need the players to be a little bit composed, and when they do get the ball, just got to keep possession better. He doesn't need another goal now at this moment to kill the game off. You can maybe do that, but without having to chase it.
And coming up for United, they go away to Brentford, host Sunderland, but then a tough run starts. Away to Liverpool, home to Brighton, away to Forest, away to Spurs. Those 6 fixtures I've listed, other than Sunderland, of course, which they didn't play last year, they didn't get a single win in last campaign, United. The equivalent of Tosin guides one wide to Reece James, under pressure. Dorgu's there. He's never stopped running, Dorgu. He's made Reece James' life difficult.
Have to say as well, I mean, you talk about those games, Brentford and Sunderland are important games for Manchester. They're the games that they generally would always drop points. As you mentioned, they struggle.
Chelsea with 72% of the possession in the second half, but doing little to nothing with it, other than that one Reece James cross. And here is the captain, Reece James, right wing. Good delivery, spilled by India. Andre Santos, it's blocked in front of goal, and Mainu has to hack it clear. By India, never fully convincing, as he spilled that in front of the Chelsea shirts, waiting to smash it home. But United managed to scramble it away.
I'm just looking at that there, and I mean, Reece James is a fantastic cross with the ball. What a great cross that was, but by Ndia, that was terrible. I must say, he's just pushed it straight out into the danger zone, didn't he?
Well, Ndia breathes a heavy sigh of relief. James curled one in the corner of uncertainty. India pushes it right to Andre Santos, and Ugarte got the block. He got in the way to deny Andre Santos a tap-in. United hanging on, if only by their fingernails. Caicedo. Chelsea slow in the build-up again. Tosin's gesturing, get it wide. They eventually do to Reece James. Back in field to Chalobah. Has to go in the box soon. 3 minutes of added time to play. Malo Gusto, 2 red shirts to beat. Crosses low into Tyreek George, who lets it run. Luke Shaw helps it behind. Chelsea corner kick from this left wing.
This is the big threat as well by Ndia as well with corners. He's not the best, not the most confident. He gets a little bit flappy. Blue shirts around him will cause him to panic a little bit. And I'm sure Chelsea will know that as well.
5 of Chelsea's 7 goals coming into that Brentford game from set pieces this year. Highest percentage in the league. They've got a corner kick from the left wing. Taken by Fernandez. In it goes towards Santos. Headed away. James helps it back to halfway to the feet of goalkeeper Philip Jorgensen.
I have to say, great goalkeeping by Ndia there.
2 and a bit minutes left to play. United 2, Chelsea 1. Fernandez past Mount into the penalty area. On goes Fernandez, wants a penalty. Clear dive, never going to get one. And Mount lets him know as well. Chalobah mishits his clearance. Ahmad chasing him down. It's fallen back to Chalobah. Breathless stuff at the moment. João Pedro pops up right wing. Can he cross? In it goes. Hacked clear by Ugarte. Given away by Luke Shaw. James can cross again. Right channel, he's fallen over Reece James. He didn't cross first time. And Dorgu can scamper away into glorious green grass for United. Cunha will carry. On goes Cunha. Sliding his Tosin. United free kick. Have they just done enough in this game?
It seems like that as well. I think Cunha's done well there. I think he's just virtually waited for Tosin to get closer, and then he changes the pace, takes up another level. Tosin goes to the floor, and it's just made it easy for him just to go bang. I'm going at this one. I'm going to go down.
Cunha dragged United forward, waited for contact. Clever play from Mateus Cunha, the sub. And United have a free kick with seconds left to play. Midway inside Chelsea's half. Ruben Amorim looks on, still not ready to celebrate yet, but Old Trafford are. They rise to their feet. They sense a chance for back-to-back home wins for the first time since December of 2023. Dorgu urged to go to the corner. That's where Mainu takes it. Caicedo on his back. Mainu, poor touch, but plays it back off Caicedo. United corner kick. That should do it.
I think that should do it. That's good play by Mainu as well.
United set the ball down on the left wing. No surprise, they're gearing up for a short one. Chelsea look on desperately. They're out of time. Too little, too late for the Blues, it seems. Mainu is just going to toe this to Dorgu. Cunha takes over and sees the clock out. Reprieve at last for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. He gets his back-to-back home victories and maybe, just maybe, eases the pressure on his back. They've beaten Chelsea on home soil. They have a fantastic record here against the Blues, and Chelsea falls short, down a man and down a goal. It finishes United 2, Chelsea 1. Paul Parker, the Blues never did enough.
They didn't do enough. There was patches, and I think I'm being quite kind with saying that. They didn't do enough, never worked the goalkeeper enough, and the one time they worked the goalkeeper, he almost drops it on the plate for them. So they didn't do it enough, and I'll be disappointed if I was playing and we've never done that bit going forward. You want to get the ball in the box as often as possible. Bindier should have had a busier game than what he did. For a side that was 2-0 down, they didn't do enough.
Is the main talking point Maresca's substitutions today?
I think you have to talk about the double substitution. I think you're looking the other side of it. Casemiro, is he going to be questioned? Was that a bit of a soft second yellow that he got? Really? That's what made a difference. That's what gave Chelsea hope. So at the end of the day, Manchester United have gone to one at home in a big game. That makes a big difference for them, because they haven't been doing that for a few years.
Well, Sanchez got sent off in the 5th minute. Bruno Fernandes opened the scoring for United on the 14th. Casemiro on the 37th minute made it 2-0, but then got sent off himself. Chalobah's header on the 80th minute, not enough for Chelsea. And it finishes here, Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. You've been listening to Premier League Live.
The hunt for October is on.
Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top!
And SiriusXM is your home for baseball's playoff chase.
There's the home run for Judge!
From the top seed to the last wild card spot, hear every game and discuss every storyline with the experts of MLB Network Radio.
He's been unbelievable all season.
The race for the postseason is on SiriusXM 89 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
With today's economic challenges, it's tough to keep a small business going and growing. Low credit scores, high interest rates, and lengthy application and approval processes can cause delays. Getting the cash you need when you need it fast is nearly impossible. Until now. Welcome to Swish Funding, the small business owner's friend that can put the cash back into your flow within 24 hours. How does $5,000 to $5 million in one day sound? If you've been in business for 1 year or more with a monthly income of at least $50,000, you can get the affordable funding you need in your account today with no collateral. Even a low credit score won't keep you from the money you need. With Swish Funding, it's really that easy. Expanding, buying more equipment, hiring more employees? We've got you covered. Adding more inventory, slow cash flow, or even a last-minute large purchase for your company? No problem. Let our team get to work for you to keep your business going and growing through these tough economic times. Visit swishfunding.com now. That's SWISH funding.com.
Power's out. Tensions rise. What happens next is up to you. I'm former Navy SEAL Cade Courtley. When disaster strikes, how you prepared beforehand could save your life. Because when the lights go dark, people get desperate. They'll fight for food, beg for water, and do almost anything to get their hands on power. Being prepared and staying discreet may be what keeps you alive. That's why I trust the Patriot Power Generator 2500X from 4Patriots. It's fume-free, silent, and powerful enough to run your fridge, freezer, CPAP, even medical devices.